You must have heard about the recent disagreement between a social media activist and a businessman regarding the registered trademark of a brand name called Rattle. Now, the narratives are everywhere as to different opinions of different people as to who is legally entitled to the brand name and who is infringing on the rights of the other. Now, this brings us to the essence of this video. In today's video, we're going to talk about the implications of having a registered trademark, what actually a trademark registration is, the liabilities available when once there is an infringement, and the rights of an unregistered trademark user as against a registered trademark user. I mean a subsequently registered trademark user of the same brand name. Now, if you've not subscribed to this channel, please, this is an ample time for you to subscribe. Look, let me tell you, ignorance of the law is not an excuse, and that knowledge I give every time I come here. So the best way for you to stay connected is to subscribe to this channel. Kindly click on this subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. This will encourage us to keep going. Stay with us, don't go away. When we come back, we'll start off with what trademark registration really means. Now, a trademark is a legal protection used for a name, a logo, a symbol, or a slogan used for a brand or a product. Now, in simple terms, you can just say a trademark is the fence around your brand identity. Now, I have a lot of people ask questions. So after my CAC registration, do I still need to register with the trademark? Yes, you need to register your brand name or your brand logo or your brand symbol or your brand slogan with the trademark, because it is the trademark that gives that brand all the legal rights and protection that entitles you to sue any third party for infringement. What I mean is the registration with the Corporate Affairs Commission just gives that brand an identity. Your brand possesses an identity once it is registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission. It further gets legal protection when it is registered with trademark, or when you have it, you have your brand name, your brand logo, or your symbol registered with trademark, or when it has a registered trademark. Now, recently, a social media activist, very dark man, and a businessman called BLORD had a disagreement regarding the ownership of the brand name called Rattle. Now, long before now, for like over 2 or 3 years, the social media activist, very dark man, had always used had always used Rattle as his brand identity. And as a result, he became known by that brand name Rattle. Unfortunately for him, he did not take further steps to legalize his ownership of that brand name called Rattle by registering same with the trademark. Now, just very recently, like 2 weeks back, the businessman called BLORD went ahead of him and registered the same brand name Rattle with the trademark to have it as his own against any other third party, more like against the world. So by so doing, BLORD possessed a legal title over Rattle as against very dark man, who had an equitable title over the same brand name called Rattle. You can imagine using your brand name unregistered for over a long period of time, and it becomes your identity on social media space, by your clients, by your customers, by your subscribers, by your followers, by everybody. All of a sudden someone goes ahead of you to say, I have already registered this brand name because I like the way it sounds, and it suits my kind of business. So I went ahead and I conducted searches. I saw that it was vacant and available for registration, so I registered it. So from today you will stop using that brand identity because it now belongs to me. You know, you can imagine the kind of losses you would experience, because how long will it take you to now begin to explain to your customers, to your clients, to everyone that has known you with that brand identity, that this is no longer me. Oh, the person now using this brand identity, I'm not the person, someone else is now using it. Do you know how long it will take you to get back your goodwill? So that is why registering your brand name or your brand logo, your brand identity with the trademark is even more important than registering with the CAC. CAC will just give you your existence, like giving birth. It will just give you your existence. But registering with trademark would give you that legal protection that you require. And that is Very Dark Man's experience now. This is what he is experiencing now with his brand identity and his brand name. Because as it stands, the businessman BLORD already has gone ahead of him, irrespective of the fact that that is what he has been using for a long time. The BLORD has gone ahead of VDM to get a legal title, to get a legal title over that said brand name against Very Dark Man. And he has informed Very Dark Man that he should desist from using that name. Otherwise, he will sue him for infringement and claim a lot of damages. Now, the question is, what does the law say in this instance? Now, general rule is that when two titles are conflicting and one is a legal title, the other is an equitable title, the legal title takes preeminence over the equitable title. For example, in this instance, the title of BLORD, who went to register that brand name ahead of Very Dark Man with the trademark, is a legal title as against the Very Dark Man that has an equitable title over that brand name. Therefore, BLORD's um, BLORD's access to that name takes precedence over Very Dark Man's access to the said name. This is the general rule. However, now by section 7 of the Trademark Act, I want to read it out. Section 7 of the Trademark Act provides that Section 7 protects the rights of a person who has been using a trademark before another person registers it. So that is the legal implications of having an equitable title in this instance. For example, the implication is that the fact that Very Dark Man has been using the Rattle name as his brand name long before BLORD woke up to register same. The law protects Very Dark Man to say, enjoy and keep using your brand name, but in order to prove that you have been using the said brand name, you would need to show us the evidence that you have been using it for a long time before this other person went ahead to register. This means that the seconders BLORD cannot, in this instance, sue Very Dark Man for infringement of that brand name. Now, this is for this particular instance. Now, we're going to also further look at the legal implications of having a trademark registration. And the most important implication, amongst all others, so there are so many, the most important implication of having a trademark registration is that you will have your brand protected. Brand protection, like I said earlier, that is the most important implication, or yes, that's the most important implication of having your trademark registered. Now, what are the things that you must prove to be entitled to the remedies for infringement of a trademark registration? One of the things that you will prove is that there was a valid registration in the first place. You have to prove that there was a valid registration, that you have a right to sue as a result of that valid registration, and that the other person had an authorized use of that brand identity in trade or business or for commercial purposes, and that the symbol or mark that was used by the third party is similar to yours, and that the similarity of goods and services caused or had the likelihood of causing confusion, and that the other party had no applicable defense. Now, I've previously said that Very Dark Man in this instance has equitable right over the use of Rattle as his brand name or brand identity. However, there's also a clause there that he has to prove to the court or make a proof that of long usage of that brand name or brand identity. Now, the question now is, does Very Dark Man have the exact proof, or does he have sufficient evidence to make this proof? Does he have sufficient evidence to prove that he had long been using Rattle as his brand identity before the said brand name got registered by BLORD? It now brings us to the need for every business owner in Nigeria, especially if you have registered that business with the Corporate Affairs Commission, to quickly make the registration of that your business name or your brand name or your brand logo or symbol, whatever that your brand is known for. Quickly register same with the trademark to prevent issues like this and issues of infringement in future, because the benefits of this registration far outweighs its costs, and the consequences of unregistered business name or unregistered brand name or brand logo in this instance can get to the root of your business. It can make you suffer so many losses. So I hope you found this video helpful. I hope you've learned something today. I hope you are ready to decide to register with the trademark, especially if your business is already exposed to online customers or clients. I mean, if it is out there, if your business is out there, then you need to act fast before it's too late. Thank you very much for having me, and enjoy the rest of your day.